I knew it. You arrive. I've been looking for you.
Do not get in my way.
As someone who's usually put off by the technical combat and precise parrying required to be successful in your average Souls-like, Rise of the Ronin ticks a lot of my boxes. An intriguing open world to explore? Certainly. Fun forms of travel in which to see it? You bet. How about a multitude of side missions, optional objectives and challenges to engage with? Absolutely. Such draws are tenets you don't expect to see from a studio most known for advancing the hardcore action RPG genre with the likes of Nioh, Final Fantasy Origin and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. However, by shaving off a lot of the punishment that comes with experimenting and failure, Sony's latest PS5 exclusive manages to make encounters much more accessible without ever sacrificing the satisfying feel of becoming a master swordsman. On the surface, Rise of the Ronin doesn't do much different compared to your typical open world game fare. Most of the 2 regions you'll explore include a healthy mix of liberation missions that will see you gain the trust of the local populace, for example, opening up more unique opportunities for progression relating to your custom created character's skills, gear loadout and level. It does so incredibly flawlessly though, building on nearly 20 years of Western RPG history to make exploration a sheer joy, whether you choose to do so by foot, horseback, grapple hook, or air via the glider given to you early on. If you're someone who enjoys completing a checklist when ridding a map of ruin, it's easy to feel right at home in Rise of the Ronin. It's easy to look at Rise of the Ronin's setting and be instantly reminded of Ghost of Tsushima. While it's true the 2 titles share a lot of similarities in terms of the emphasis on swordplay and the ability to take down various enemy types by inhabiting certain stances, Team Ninja's title is far more thoughtful in its approach to combat. Spamming the quick attack button will only get you so far, a fact that will see you die repeatedly unless you get to grips with how the counter-spark system works. This is where the game comfortably shares the most DNA with Team Ninja's prior titles, as opposed to the beautiful but relatively by-the-numbers tasks seen elsewhere. Counter-sparking is all based around timing, requiring you to land a parry the exact moment an enemy's sword clashes with your own so as to deplete the ki meter. Ki is essentially a substitute for stamina, which when fully depleted will see foes enter a staggered state, opening them up for a brutal and cinematic maneuver that is always suitably gory and satisfying to pull off. It took me a while to get used to, and every type of enemy having their own timing pattern and rhythm always made it a challenge. Following the first few hours though, counter-sparking using my preferred light or heavy set weapons eventually became second nature, introducing a lot of mechanical depth. I acknowledge it might not be as demanding to pull off as parrying in other Souls-likes, but it functions in a way that renders waiting patiently for windows of opportunity to strike still essential. Having such a technical approach to even the most mundane bouts is unusual compared to how the likes of, say, Assassin's Creed make you feel almost unstoppable even early on. But that's exactly what gives Rise of the Ronin a lot more bite when compared to more traditional AAA genre entries. This is an expert melding of those conventional ideals alongside a battle system that always requires you to stay alert. Fortunately, even if you do fumble an encounter, it's not like any progress is immediately wiped either. This is mainly because veiled banners, aka Rise of the Ronin's equivalent to the bonfires in Dark Souls, are plentiful, used as a form of fast travel, as well as a way to replenish health items, reset enemy positions, and trade in karma for those all-important skill points. Story-wise, Rise of the Ronin gets off to an exceptional start, offering up its own riff on otherwise stereotypical samurai themes such as vengeance and betrayal. Far more interesting than the main plot, however, is the time period in which it's set, with the early days of the Bakumatsu period being a perfect way to display the same East meets West clash found in the gameplay in your environmental surroundings and available arsenal too. You see, ranged weapons like rifles and revolvers can play just as an important part in your mission to seek justice as the slew of expected Japanese melee devices, such as katana and adachi blades or shurikens. Speaking of which, there are plenty of ways Rise of the Ronin keeps the act of slashing down rival samurai and ninjas fresh. The sword stance system, for instance, makes switching between poses a breeze whenever a particular foe is strong or weak to one you have stored. Then there's the fact that you can store 2 main weapons upon your person at any one time, which, when you consider each weapon can deploy a maximum of 3 different stances, lets you have up to 6 at your disposal at any one time. Sure, Sure, switching between them starts out as an annoyance as groups of enemies begin to swarm around you in real time, but it felt ace knowing that I always had the right combination ready for nearly every type of foe. It was never a case of me being too overpowered though, as mastering the counter spark timing and gaining enough space to safely switch stances still offers up a nice sense of risk reward. Also somewhat aiding my chances at success in both small and large scale encounters is the bond system, and this is where Rise of the Ronin provides its biggest spin on the open world format yet. During certain main missions you won't have to fight alone, instead being able to take in an ally met previously, which you can switch to should your character fall or be ineffective against whoever it is you're fighting. Different allies are gained throughout the main story, but building your bond with them is a choice that can provide dividends in terms of how they handle and how effective they are in battle. This helped bring a sense of teamwork and camaraderie during the game's most cinematic moments, which I came to appreciate. Of course, as Rise of the Ronin supports online co-op too, the option to work with a friend is always there, but the sentiment remains regardless. Rise of the Ronin isn't some grand reinvention of what an open world sandbox can be when Western RPG exploration and mission design meets the meticulously designed combat of an Eastern action game. The main story plays it pretty safe, and what's available to do in the world doesn't surprise all that much either. That said, Team Ninja has succeeded in making a Souls-like inspired combat system far more approachable for players who don't want to be routinely punished for not attacking and parrying perfectly like myself, adapting the way the world works around it to make it less intimidating. As a result, Rise of the Ronin's confluence of ideas makes it a flawed but still rewarding experience for most types of player. We at Mirror Gaming give Rise of the Ronin a 3 out of 5. So there you have it guys, in terms of our full review thoughts on PlayStation's newest exclusive, Rise of the Ronin. Do you plan on picking this up? Have you been enjoying it already? Be sure to let us know in the comment section below. And then, when you've done that, be sure to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the Mirror Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much as ever for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.